Okay, so what if you could just have a conversation with the Cardano blockchain? I don't mean in code, I mean in plain English, just asking it whatever you want to know. Well, that's exactly the big idea behind a new project trying to unlock all that on-chain data for everyone, the Cardano Analytics Platform.
Seriously, think about that for a second. What if you could ask the blockchain a question? Just like you'd ask a friend. No need for complex queries, no programming skills, just a simple, natural conversation. That's the fascinating concept we're going to dive into today. But hey, to really get why the solution is so cool, you first got to understand the problem. And the reality is, right now, for most of us, all that valuable information on the blockchain is basically locked away behind this huge wall of technical jargon.
See, blockchains like Cardano don't have the kind of standardized data models that we're used to seeing elsewhere. The best way to picture it is like a giant library with no card catalog, and every single book is written in a different, super complex language. Without the right tools, all the incredible insights hiding in there are pretty much impossible to find.
And that's where the Cardano Analytics Platform, or CAP for short, comes into the picture. It's basically the AI-powered key designed to unlock that entire library of information for all of us, acting like a universal translator for the blockchain.
So what exactly is CAP? Well, it's a platform that's powered by a large language model. Yep, the same kind of tech behind things like ChatGPT. It lets you ask questions about Cardano's data in plain English, and then it does the magic of turning the complicated answers into these really clear, easy-to-read visual dashboards. And this is where it gets really practical. You can literally just ask things like, hey, show me the biggest transactions today, or can you chart the growth of smart contracts over the last year? The system is built to give you a direct visual answer. It turns what used to be complex data analysis into a simple conversation.
So, what's the secret sauce here? How does CAP actually work? Well, it's not just one thing. It's actually a really powerful combination of 3 core technologies. Let's pop the hood and see what's going on inside.
The whole platform is built on what they call 3 pillars of innovation. First up, you've got the brain, which is a specially trained large language model. Then there's the map, a knowledge graph that gives it all that crucial context. And finally, you have the canvas, which is the super user-friendly dashboard where all the results come to life. This analogy is just fantastic. See, a lot of AIs are just given a few examples and are expected to kind of figure things out from there. But CAP's AI is fine-tuned. It's like putting the AI through a dedicated, intensive training course specifically on Cardano. This lets it learn the really deep patterns and give way more accurate and reliable answers.
This quote just perfectly explains that second pillar. You know how sometimes AIs can hallucinate or just make stuff up? Well, the knowledge graph is the solution to that. It provides a structured, factual map of Cardano, so the AI is forced to use this map, which makes sure its answers are based on verified reality, not just some random guess.
And the final piece of the puzzle is the smart dashboard. This is your canvas. It takes all of that complex, verified data and transforms it into these clean, interactive charts and tables that you can customize. It's where all the insights become clear, and the best part, you don't have to write a single line of code.
Now, a tool this cool didn't just appear overnight. It's actually the result of a long journey, from just an ambitious idea to a working prototype, and it was all made possible thanks to funding and support from Cardano's own community innovation engine, Project Catalyst.
Looking at their journey through Fund 13, you can see they had a really systematic approach. They started with the foundation, building the ontology, which is like the blueprint for organizing all the data. Then came the pipelines to automatically pull in that data. From there, they built the AI engine and the user interface, and bam, they delivered a working prototype, hitting all their key milestones right on schedule.
All right, so what does it actually feel like to use CAP? Well, it all kicks off with a simple search bar. You just land on the page, and like any search engine, you type your question. Let's say you ask, show me the top 10 richest wallets on Cardano.
The second you hit enter, that fine-tuned AI brain gets right to work. It takes your question, uses that knowledge graph to understand what wallets and richest mean in this context, and then translates your English sentence into a very precise, technical query that the Cardano database can actually understand and execute.
And just like that, instead of getting back a confusing wall of transaction hashes, you get a clean, ranked table of the top 10 wallets. It's a direct, visual answer. And if you think that's a useful insight you want to keep an eye on, you can just pin it to your personal dashboard to track it over time. Simple as that. But that prototype from Fund 13, that was really just the beginning. The team has a much bigger vision for the next phase, taking this proof of concept and leveling it up into a full-fledged minimum viable product, or an MVP.
To make that happen, they've put in a proposal to Project Catalyst Fund 15 for 200,000 ADA. This funding is what would allow them to build the next generation of the platform, which is a pretty significant step up in both scale and ambition.
So what does that funding get us? Well, get ready for some awesome new features. We're talking about combining on-chain data with off-chain stuff like project names and token logos, so you can ask even smarter questions. Also on the list, full multilingual support, way more powerful and shareable dashboards, and even a public API, so developers can build their own tools on top of CAP's intelligence.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how, but let's wrap this up with the most important question of all. Why does any of this actually matter? What's the big picture impact here?
This quote from the team really just says it all. This is about democratization. It's about tearing down those technical walls that keep everyday users, investors, and creators from getting the information they need to make smart, independent decisions.
At the end of the day, CAP is so much more than a data tool. It's a platform for empowerment. An investor could track whale wallets to get a better feel for market sentiment. A developer could monitor their dApps activity in real time. A community member could easily fact-check claims during a big governance vote. When anyone can verify information for themselves, it just creates a more transparent and intelligent community for everybody.
And that brings us to a final, pretty powerful thought. Right now, the questions we ask are often limited by our technical skills. But what happens when a tool like this just removes those limits entirely? What new questions will we even think to ask? What incredible discoveries are we going to make? That's the future this project is trying to build.